Why are the playoffs better at Boston Pizza? Because we've optimized our sports bar experience by studying in-depth analytics, starting with our new BP winged ribs, currently leading all apps in wings above replacement, and deep-fried pickle wedges, an early favorite for the unanimous #1 overall pickle. And, of course, the advanced stats darling and leader in pints per game, the new Beer Mosa. Catch the playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
You're listening to Oilers Nation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Oilers Nation Radio, episode 284. Tyler hosting for Bagged Milk, even though Bagged Milk's still in the room.
I'm here. He's right there.
Makes you think.
Why are you hosting?
Avoid the grind. I am just focused on tomorrow's game. I have no interest in doing any work.
Boom. Also, everyone is tired because we filled up on Wilhauk beef jerky from our friend Trent.
I got room.
So do I.
We left the bag of beef jerky outside.
What were we thinking on that one?
Well, I have no jaw left to talk.
Yeah.
And some good jerky. I ate a lot.
If doing how many?
You're used to eating bananas all the time.
Yeah, you just cut right through them.
Bananas and cheesecake. That's just easy work for the
Well,
job.
Liam's got soft teeth, though.
Yeah,
most people don't know that. That's why he's bananas.
He did dip
and
his
cheesecake.
beef jerky in the water before he chewed on it. So
He's been letting it soak in his mouth for the last 15 minutes, like a
drink
dip.
that water afterwards too. It's gonna be the best water he's ever had.
Our pal Trent from Wilhauk Beef Jerky is going to stop by and chat some Oilers with us in a little bit as well. But for a blip, 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 blip. I stumbled there.
That was a rewind feature.
Yeah. We'll cut that.
But first, it's time for the Oodle Noodle Delicious Debate. Brought to you by Oodle Noodle, where if you want an Oilers Nation sticker, you know what you can do? Boom, just pop into any one of the Edmonton locations. They'll have an Oilers Nation sticker for you. Get dinner on a Friday night, have a sticker you can rep Saturday for Game 6.
By the way, I did see the messages in the Oilers Nation Everyday chat. I've sent a text to Jay. We will be restocking at the locations that are out.
Ah, good.
So if you do go in there and you want a sticker and they don't have one, just let us know and we'll restock.
Yep. Your delicious debate question. I was debating looking back on Game 5 a little bit, but let's look ahead to start the show. Let's do things in a weird order. We asked this question today on Oilers Nation every day. Liam, myself, BM gave our answer, but Rick, I'll start with you. Give me your pick for an unsung hero in Game 6 against the Kings. Last year in Game 6, remember, Tyson Barrie walks in, fires home a shot from the top of the circles, wins the game for the Oilers. Last year, Game 7, it was Cody Ceci who stepped up and got the goal. Who's your pick to do something special in Game 6?
You know what? Let's just go with a guy who's been doing it all year, just whenever you needed it. We're going to go with Mr. Two First Names, Derek Ryan.
Long or short?
Oh, the short version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the smaller one.
Sure.
If you've been watching those bottom 6 lines, they've been really having their desserts with these guys recently. And I think it's a guy like him. He's going to find a way to pop one or two. And whether it to be get us going or just the final nail in the coffin, I can see Derek Ryan, Derek Ryan, getting the job done for us tomorrow.
Derek Ryan in Game 5 played 15 minutes and 25 seconds at 5-on-5. That was 6th on the Oilers in ice time. They outscored the Kings 1-0 when he was on the ice. Dan, who's your pick? Unsung hero Game 6.
Well, I mean, I got to stick with the theme you laid out there earlier, and I'm going to go with a guy that I think has played a role with this team already when you see the performance of an Evan Bouchard since he's come to this team, but it's going to be Mattias Ekholm, I think, is going to just hammer home a puck here or there and play a real significant role tomorrow night, I guess it is.
We had Superfan Magoo on Oilers Nation every day. That was his pick, and I agreed with him, so I will agree with you. I think we're getting a big third period goal from Mattias Ekholm that will seal the deal in Game 6. Liam, who's your pick?
Yamamoto. Kailer Yamamoto is
3
my
syllables.
Pick. Yep. He's been getting a lot of hate
5.
recently. People are asking him to be out of the lineup and be replaced by Dylan Holloway. I asked those people, what do you expect Dylan Holloway to do that Yamamoto's not doing? I guess maybe score, but it's not like Holloway has a record of that in the NHL either. I think Yamo's going to come up. I just want to put that one into the atmosphere because I want to manifest it a little bit too. Stop the haters.
Yam?
He had a tough game physically on Tuesday in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think he's going to use it as motivation for Game 6. My pick is Warren Foegele. He took one right in the numbers. He got leveled by Doughty. And I think that's going to knock the old cobwebs out. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be ready. He's going to be dialed in. Warren Foegele is my pick.
Will it be a breakaway goal?
Absolutely.
He's so due.
It was actually the end of the game. Foegele was just getting fed punches by Danault as well. So he took it all for 60 minutes.
And Danault was like reaching around the linesman to do it. Like
Greasy.
Foegele couldn't fight back, and Danault was just being a grease ball as expected.
Oilers did a great job of ignoring the noise.
Yep.
In game 5. Tyler, who's your pick?
My pick, like I said, I agree with Dan and Superfan Magoo. I went with Mattias Ekholm, but I want to dig into Liam's a little bit more because I feel like there's a conversation to be had there. A lot of people upset with Kailer Yamamoto's lack of production. I think Jay Woodcroft would probably be in that group when you consider that his minutes fell to just 10-18 at 5-on-5 in game 5. He was basically paired up with Klim Kostin, which I actually liked that duo. I think if you're looking for two wingers who you're going to play with skill, McDavid or Draisaitl, every time they're on the ice, which is, again, the approach when you're going 11-7, then Kostin and Yamo are a pretty good duo to do that. The people saying that you need to play Dylan Holloway in that spot are insane. What were the issues with Dylan Holloway's game early in the year? Bad penalties, bad turnovers. Do you want that guy to have his confidence absolutely rattled because he did something that cost the team a goal in game 6 or 7 of a playoff series? No way. Does anyone here believe they should play Holloway?
No. No.
Yes, I
Over
do believe.
whom?
I think at some point there could be an opportunity to play him.
No,
like,
we're
lower
not talking
down
about
the
at some
lineup.
point. We're talking about tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow? No.
Or even there are people trying to get him in the last game.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't play him. He's a black ace. I think it's good that he's getting line rushes with McDavid and Draisaitl, though.
Yeah, it's great.
If that comes about, then the opportunity's there for him. But I don't think he should play. No,
Short of an injury, there's no way he corrects the lineup.
I would put Devin Shore in before him.
That would be my answer as well. Is short of an injury and knock on wood, we don't have to deal with that. That's the only way I think he comes in is if there's a spot open and up in the top 6 for him, or else Devin Shore is probably your call up, or maybe Brad Malone.
Stop looking at me like that. I know you disagree with me.
I know, but
He's just been around for the season. And I just think it's
Dylan Holloway would have been around if he was healthy.
Depends on which role.
Holloway
like a
got
bottom-
injured
a
in
bottom
Bakersfield.
hurt.
I'm talking about a bottom 6.
Depends on who
replacement
gets
there,
hurt.
Like you're not. I don't think you're putting in Devin Shore if Evander Kane is injured for a game or something.
Okay, so if Kailer Yamamoto's hurt, you bring in Shore?
I would.
That one I would
move-
consider Holloway on that one.
Me too.
Costin?
It feels. I would bring in Shore.
That's where you got to look at Shore.
No.
I think it's that.
Yeah,
I think
What
it's that
does
bottom
Shore
6, top
bring
6
that
role.
Holloway doesn't? Holloway's going to give you speed,
Yeah.
the
But
chance
you-
to actually score a goal.
Penalty killing.
But what he doesn't do is the things that you mentioned from earlier in the season. He doesn't make those mistakes. He doesn't have that doesn't have those bad penalties in him that I'm not saying that Holloway necessarily does, but Shore just doesn't have that.
Nope, but there was a basketball player. They got eliminated the other day, and I don't know who the hell it was. or
Milwaukee?
whatever. But he came out and said, you know what? The lights were a little too bright.
Oh, I don't remember.
And he
that
just
one.
admitted the fact that, you know what? It was a larger piece of pie than he expected.
Oh.
So in this case, I would give it to Shore just because I know Shore's been there before, and I do not want to go and give Holloway and just force feed Holloway that big stage.
That was Jared Allen. I think he's on Brook. Oh no, he's on Cleveland. That's who he's on. But I think on Shore as well, when he was in the lineup a little bit more regular, that the line he was playing them, what was it? Him, Ryan, I think actually Puljujarvi at the time, were rolling quite well. And he's such a simple player to play with.
Don't forget, we're
Like,
talking
this
about
thing that kinda works
19
nicely.
Shore, not 14 Shore.
Yeah, and that's a big thing.
Right? This
That's
is
a big
19
thing.
Shore coming in, not 14. Huge difference.
Extra 5 makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. Yeah. Imagine if you won 99.
That's-
Boy, oh boy.
I just think there's putting in, I understand what you're saying. Like there's a dependability thing with a guy like Devin Shore that maybe you don't have with Dylan Holloway.
Definitely don't have a Dylan Holloway.
Well, yeah, but also you're not going to play him that much. And again, I think you're putting him no matter what. He's in the spot of being on the 4th line duo where you're playing him with skill. And I think I want to take the chance of that upside. Devin Shore.
He can PK though.
No, he doesn't kill penalties.
What do you mean?
So he doesn't kill penalties.
He's been out on the PK.
I thought him and Derek Brassard killed penalties together last season.
in 47, I mean, like, okay, he does in 47 games this year. He spent 13 minutes on the PK.
What about-
That's like,
And how many minutes did Holloway spend on the PK?
that's like 16 seconds. So I mean, he kills more than Holloway, but like, I don't think.
I think it will be circumstantial. Because, for example, if Janmark doesn't come back and you lose another penalty killer, then you probably want to have Devin Shore in there for that because he knows how to do it. With like what Dan said, you lose a Yamamoto or a Vander Kane, it probably is Holloway, but I still don't know if I would put him in the top 6. I'd probably elevate a Warren.
And that's a good point too, because come the second round, if we get there and whatnot, I do believe 26 will back in the lineup. So Jan Mark will be there. That's just another guy to push Holloway down a spot. So then the question is, do you go 11-7 or 12-6?
11-7 just works so well.
It does. Especially this series with the ability to move away from Danault and Kopitar and just kind of tire the Kings out consecutively with the skill.
Like the Kings, were they not basically just rolling 4 lines in the third period last game? Like they didn't put up much of a fight. That was weird.
Dude, they weren't even forechecking.
My favorite
still trapping.
My favorite though is the point you made where they were trying to fuck around a little bit towards the end of the game. And Woody's like, had enough of you. And then just put out the massive line, just be like, oh, that's enough now.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Those 5 guys could have gone Red Rover style, arm to arm, and stretched the entire width of the ice.
Easily.
And the Kings would have been screwed.
100%.
Well, actually, the Kings wouldn't have done anything. They would have dumped the puck in, then no one would have gone to get it.
They would have just lined up 1-3-1 and be like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
All right. I was about to say that scene. It was a bit of a scene at the end of the second period when Darnell Nurse skates back with the puck. Kings are losing. And just, they let him run out the last 20 seconds. Yep. And it was Kempe too. And he was like, no, got to stay in my structure. Yep. I was like,
my favorite part about that is in game 1, the Kings were actually having a little bit of success with the 1-3-1. Oilers were navigating it, but like a little bit of success. Game 2, Woody just flipped the script on how he wanted to approach it. And Tom McClellan has not adjusted whatsoever.
I still think they need to sit. If no one's going to rush you, just sit back there. And we go back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Parayko? Move the puck. No.
Tampa, Philly.
Yeah, where dude is like, just stood there. He's like, well, you guys aren't going to come at me and I'm going to stay here. And we'll all just watch the clock.
It was Pronger who was standing across from him.
And Stamkos was standing across from him.
Yeah, and that was Guy Boucher was the 1-3-1 coach there.
Yeah, like, dude, do that.
If you're up, I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't, right?
No,
like, what's LA going to do? But I also do think that's a little bit of like prevent defense kind of thing, right? Like the Oilers' strength is their attack.
Oh yeah, but if you're up, if you're not attacking,
it's a time thing, and I want my matchup to come down to me. So
not even that. Just let the guy come in like the no longer there the ringette line now. Like
there was a moment in game 5. It might have been Broberg who had the puck, but they did the angle from the back of when you see them, and I hadn't noticed this before. But Jay Woodcroft was just on the bench, just like hand out, just like stop, and they must have stood there for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and then eventually, obviously, he started moving, but he's like, you're wasting a lot of time by not putting any pressure on the others, and you're losing.
We've watched it. We've watched it with Team Germany. We've watched it with all of those European countries where they play the trap game and they can't do it against the Canadas of the world.
To us all the time.
Yeah, and they can't handle it once you're up, and so let them do it.
They don't have the offense. That's plain and simple why you do it, right?
Yeah, I think we would all agree then a big key to victory on Saturday night is going to be scoring first.
Well, there's that, and also not giving up the dumb mistakes like they did at the end of the first period. Like the first goal that LA scored on game 5 was a blown clear. Okay, you clean that up. The second one was just blown coverage on the Kempe goal. Yeah, got to clean that up. They'll be fine.
The Oilers have only not scored in one game, right? That was game 3. Oh no, game 4 as well.
Game 4,
3-0. Yeah. Right, because never mind.
I'm expecting both games in LA went to OT. I'm expecting another tight one tomorrow.
It's going to look exactly like the last game.
I think it will too. I'm going to agree with Rick. I'm not expecting a tight one. I think this might be one where the Kings just look so out of gas, and maybe the 3 days off will help them. But I just think if Edmonton can get up by a couple early, it's just going to be snowball down the hill. Here we go again.
But like
their goalie has no confidence.
We were in LA, like that crowd. It's bumping to start off the game. Yeah. That's going to give LA a boost.
No, good point.
If the Oilers score first, I'm with you. But if the Kings get an early one,
you just got to take a couple punches first.
I just think the Oilers have to just stay out of the box and stop and don't 100%. Give them more chances and more opportunities to come back 2000%. Into it, even if they aren't in it, or even if they are in it, don't give them any more opportunity. But I don't know. This game is a fascinating one. The Saturday game. We're not usually in this victory formation in this scenario, so. I
really don't know how it'll go, to be honest, because the Kings have just not looked like themselves for 5 periods now. And But if they play like the way they did in the other games, where they kind of like take the punches and then they continue to like put the pressure on the others, and obviously it's going to be a much tighter game. It's just hard to predict what LA team is going to.
But they're going to the same spot on Korpisalo all the time.
That's true.
Figures something out on Korpisalo. Unless Korpisalo can somehow erase that, which we all know he can't. Look at his career numbers. Like they're not what he has been in the first couple of games.
Or do they go with the win machine Phoenix Copley?
The dude doesn't spell his name properly.
The thing that the Oilers did really well on Tuesday is they ignored everything the Kings did. Would they get one penalty on Tuesday? Bring that level of discipline. But bring that level of discipline tomorrow.
The officials fucking kept their arm down because the Kings were still fucking flopping.
No, I understand, but they're not calling embellishment anyway. So just ignore that noise. Like Evander Kane talked about it after. They talked in the room about they're going to slash you in the knees. They're going to do everything after the whistle. You just got to skate away and leave them be. Don't let them under your skin. The Oilers are the better team. Don't let LA bring you down to their game. Play your game. You're going to be fine.
You mentioned the miscues defensively. It's kind of weird to sit here and go, boy, Connor McDavid was on the ice for all of those. 97 didn't have a banner game defensively by any stretch. I still think it's a matter of, when, not if, we get a vintage Connor McDavid game in this series, whether it'll be game 6 or a potential game 7 that I hope doesn't happen.
I don't even think that's real wood.
Okay. Sorry. But anyways, my point is I think we're due for a vintage McDavid game. But what do you guys make of the whole he's hurt thing? Are we buying into that?
Everybody's hurt.
Everybody, yeah.
Have you, other than the stupid video yesterday, if you can find me something in the game that you're like, yeah, you can see he's out there flying. He's trying to go through every play. Nothing has changed.
You can absolutely see there's situations where McDavid does test a leg a little bit more after a slash here and there. Yes, Mick, I've seen it. You just asked me to tell you and I've seen it, but it's not anything different than like a runner running for 10 kilometers and then feeling sore after it. Like to me, it's not an injury. It's not affecting him. No, it's just something that's part of being a pro athlete. And we're just hyper focused on it right now because the injuries are a concern.
Outside of yesterday's video, this wouldn't be a conversation anymore than it'd be.
I think you could go through the footage and you could find this with any player when they get.
He's been taking extra.
But he's not hurt. Like
to be fair, on our
not affecting his game
on the everyday chat and on Twitter as well. There have been a lot of people since kind of game 3 who are like McDavid must be hurt because he's not putting up 30,000 points in a game. There's also a lot of people
that like I thought we went through this game 2 where I'm just like, oh, he's getting double covered in the offensive zone. Again, we at some point have to give the opponent any kind of credit.
Phil Deneau specifically.
So they're trying to shut him down. I get it. He takes the puck, dishes it off, says, okay, guys. What the team does.
Who has McDavid played against the most? I think it's Gavrikov and Roy has been the pairing he's gone up against most of the time. And
a lot of Doughty too.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of Doughty in there, Mikey Anderson. I mean, like you said, credit to the Kings that they have done a very good job.
Sometimes you have to give the opposition credit.
like Korpisalo's made some great saves on him. It's just kind of what it's been, right?
Look at that Leon goal. After Connor and them ran everybody in circles there.
Yeah.
He had Mikey chasing him, stopped, turned on a dime. Doughty didn't do a damn thing in his spot. And
I think that there's a whole generation of hockey fans that haven't seen like just the blanket hockey that we saw in the 90s where you had a guy on teams that was literally assigned to the other superstar.
He was a shadow.
And they were the shadow. And
I think of the Devils, when the Devils were winning.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
was going back to Estetiken and following Gretzky around.
Yep. And so, I mean, I think that there's a certain element with a guy like Philip Deneau that he pisses us off as a fan base, but we're not giving him nearly enough credit for what he is doing effectively, which is getting into McDavid's kitchen every time he touches the puck. He's right in where the stick handling is. And that's what McDavid hates the most.
How many points does he have?
8.
And you mentioned he's got some looks. Like he just missed on that B-way against Korpisalo. Korpisalo stopped him on a couple odd mans where, I mean, if he has 2 goals, we're probably not even like then it's almost a goal a game and we're like not even concerned at all.
I'm not concerned at all.
No, I think he probably is hurt, but he's not injured.
That's a good way to put it. Because if he was truly
injured, he wouldn't be practicing. Like Evander Kane's not practicing because reports he's banged up in multiple spots.
We spoke about this with Frank too. Like Draisaitl and Nurse didn't see the ice unless the puck was being dropped last playoff run. There is about 0% chance McDavid would be on the ice if he had any kind of like lingering injury.
I like what you said, hurt, not injured. And I'm going to guess that there are 20 dudes in that dressing room that are also in some flavor of hurt, not injured.
You guys talked about who McDavid's seen
I'm
the
feeling
most.
like that right now. Come on, of course they are.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I am hurt.
McDavid has spent 47 5-on-5 minutes against Doughty and Anderson. And he has spent 36 minutes against the Roy Gavrikov duo. So they really have been kind of splitting it up amongst the top
Does he have
four.
more points?
I was going to
against
say,
one than
what's the scoring differential? I feel like when Gavrikov is on the ice, and this is a guy who I was a bit critical of during the trade conversations, I didn't really know him that well, but boy, oh boy, he's been pretty good. Or am I completely wrong?
No.
Okay.
You're bang on.
Tyler's second favorite team.
Against Doughty, McDavid and the Oilers. When it's McDavid and Doughty on the ice, Oilers are up 4-2. When it's McDavid Anderson, the Oilers are up 3-2. When it's McDavid, Matt Roy, the Oilers are getting outscored 4-1. And in 36 minutes, Gavrikov has not allowed the Oilers to score in the 36 minutes when he's been on the ice against McDavid.
He's been very, very, very good. He's going to get a nice ticket this summer. Probably not with LA.
So there's no way that Jay Woodcroft doesn't also know those numbers. I wonder what he's going to do tomorrow to try and get some better matchups for himself.
What does Todd do?
Nothing. Like
Nothing.
Todd said his game plan in February, and that's been the same one that he's going to
But does Todd look at those numbers and try and get Gavrikov out there? Does Todd look out there and go, Mikey and Drew are my guys, and they got to be out there? Because do you want to put Drew out? Please put Drew Doughty out there every time Connor hits the ice.
Yes.
I know he had the big hit, but like...
Almost every
I tried to say it at the start of this playoff series that he, to me, is not a relevant factor in this.
He's relevant. He's just not what he was. He's like, if you change his name, then you're talking about a second pairing guy.
Oh, yeah.
But because of his name, because of what we expect, because we know what 20 years ago.
And what he said at the start of the series.
Oh, let him yap, whatever. I know, I like that.
But it affected it. It got us paying attention and booing him.
Oh, I don't give a shit what he does. Doughty is a name.
It's wild. He's almost 34 now.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
He's only, I thought he was a little bit older, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
It's just because he's been around like 9,000 years now.
He's been a fantastic player.
He's
that's what's happening out in New York too. Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
He's a name.
A little bit.
They're not what they used to be. We need to understand that when you're going after these guys at the end of their career,
Taves.
that's not who they used to be. You need to know exactly who they are today. It's not what they were.
It is funny around a deadline. Like we all wanted Jonathan Taves, and then Nick Bukestad was kind of like, we'll see. And now we got Nick Bukestad, and he just absolutely dominated.
How about that play by Woody? Flipping him up into the top six?
Yeah. Bukestad was so good last game. Like that. I couldn't believe they showed it after he drove to the net. He had only had 3 shots in the series. And I thought he had just been super effective player the whole time. And the fact he can be that reliable and that good with being so ineffective on the stat sheet is quite good.
Keep that top six together the same way.
What was it again?
Connor, Leon, Kane, Nuge, Hyman, Bukestad.
No.
Oof, I don't know. I think I split up Connor and Leon.
I would too for this one because you don't get the matchups. But also maybe you don't because you play in 11 and 7. You can just rotate them anyway.
It is 11 and 7. So I guess it depends.
Also,
the lines don't even matter when it's 11 and 7.
I don't think that LA can handle Kane, McDavid, Draisaitl at all.
And I think Bukestad and Nuge are good enough and smart enough to be able to hold off that Dano line.
Well, and what I was going to say too, just to jump back to talking about McClellan, like we said, McClellan knows those numbers, but yet he's not going to Gavrikov on McDavid only because they know they have to spread it around, and they know that those guys are just going to get burnt out and fatigued out against these guys anyway. So I don't think you really worry about matchups right now. I think you just go out and beat them. And
Gavrikov's got to be riding a hot hand. Like that's got to come crashing down. That's crazy what you just said.
That's wild.
Well, but I mean, what would you say? How would you say Gavrikov is different than Doughty's line?
How would I say? I think Doughty jumps into a lot of plays. I think
physical, or Gavrikov plays defensive.
Yeah, and I think Gavrikov is just very intelligent. Once you come across the blue line, he knows his angles and where to keep.
He's the defensive.
He's a defensive defenseman. Yeah,
the offensive.
I'd be curious to know what Draisaitl's numbers are. Draisaitl lines numbers are opposing that, right? If it is,
Leon doesn't care. Effective. He just grabs his fucking Hulk smashes.
Turns out Leon makes or scored 7 goals against Gavrikov on the ice, kind of thing. And it just doesn't matter. But yeah. Anyways, it's an interesting debate for us. But the nice thing is we're the team that's up in the series. So really, we don't have to be the ones to react.
It is a good feeling to be up 3-2 versus where we were last year at this point, eh?
Siri didn't get that either.
You know what though?
We've been here before. We did this at Calgary.
Yes.
True, but I'm still Job's not done.
No, of course not.
Not looking ahead at anything until they get through tomorrow.
You're not hitting up AMA Travel and buying any plane tickets yet?
I'd love to.
To Vegas?
But Kobe, job's not done.
Yeah, no, job's not done. Shout out to AMA Travel, by the way. I'm sure there are a lot of people listening to this who are, tapping their feet going, one more win and I can go to amatravel.ca and maybe get my plane tickets.
Maybe.
AMA Travel can hook you up if you do have, or if you do want.
I've got big dreams, Tyler.
Yep.
But job's not done.
You guys talked about Leon Draisaitl. So at 5-on-5, he's played 40 minutes against Doughty and Roy. He has played about 37 against both Gavrikov and Roy, and 40 against Doughty.
And how the points roll?
He's outscoring, the Oilers are outscoring the Kings 5-1 when he's on against Doughty.
He's in fucking Hulk mode.
And the Kings are outscoring the Oilers 4-1 when he's out against Gavrikov.
Jeez. So
It's amazing. Really.
Is Gavrikov him?
Gavrikov is the answer. Wow.
Someone's going to pay Gavrikov.
That's interesting. I did this again today on ON Every Day, but it's an elimination game for the Oilers. They're first to the playoffs. Here's a little stat for you, powered by Boston Pizza and their brand new Fanalytics-inspired menu. Beer Mosa before the game, anyone?
Hello.
Can't say no to that. Pizza flight for Rick. Why not? How about this for a little stat? Last playoffs in 4 elimination games, 2 against LA, 1 against Calgary, 1 against Colorado. Right? I'm right?
Correct.
McDavid and Draisaitl combined for 19 points in those 4 games.
Wow.
Give it to me.
It's something. And Leon Draisaitl didn't even score. He just had 10 assists in 4 elimination games.
That's wild.
Maybe Draisaitl's due for an elimination game goal tomorrow. That goal they scored, you mentioned it last game, the Draisaitl one. McDavid cut, Kane, little backhand through the legs pass. And then you could tell the Kings, I think you said they can't handle him. Like they really can't. And that goal is an example of it because they were so frazzled by whatever the hell 97 and Kane just did. And Draisaitl was alone in front. And the way I read McDavid's mind on that play was like he had the puck and he like looked up and saw Draisaitl and was almost like, how? Like, what's the catch here? It's like when someone DMs you, says they got $5,000 to help you pay off your loans. McDavid's like, this might be a trick. But then he passed it to Draisaitl and they scored.
So Tyler says that all those DMs you get are real as well.
I've handed up my SIN card like 4, 5, 6 dozen times.
And how many times has it worked?
I'm still waiting for the first one to come in.
Well,
It'll get there.
It's coming.
lost
Just
in the
like
mail.
McDavid to Draisaitl in the slot.
You know what also be nice is a little luck for Nuge. He's a post per game player right now.
Last game would have been nice for
2 posts last game.
For some financial Betway related reasons for me.
That's okay. Those are both wins. That's okay. Let those posts go on wins.
No, the way I look at it is I'd be concerned. Like some people I see on Twitter and in the Nation's comment section that are worried about it. I'd be more worried if he wasn't getting looks. He's getting looks. He's just not getting the bounce.
Yeah. I'm not like overly concerned
right away. I mean,
but I'm out of all of the forwards, I am most concerned about Nuge.
I'm not.
Waz had me do a manifesting circle on Twitter for him this morning.
Look, it's the playoffs, man. Sometimes, how is he doing defensively? I think he's doing just fine defensively, no?
He's been all right.
Wasn't he -3 in the first game?
Oh,
I don't
Plus
know.
minus is a dead stat, Liam. Come on now.
I use 5-on-5 goals for and against, which is basically the same thing, but sounds better and more analytically. It's all about how you frame it. All right. We are going to step aside for a quick break because stopping into the studio for a quick couple of minutes is our boy Trent Wilhock from Wilhock Beef Jerky. So we'll be right back. All right, we'll be getting into hot and cold performers and Ask the Idiots coming up in just a little bit. But first, you're giggling at the names of it. Trent Wilhock from Wilhock Beef Jerky stopping in to join us for a bit on ONR. Ask the Idiots. It's aptly named when you consider the podcast, Trent.
I feel right at home.
Yeah, fair enough. As always, Wilhock Beef Jerky has been a partner of ours here at Oilers Nation for a long time, and it's been around a long time because the beef jerky is simply the best. How's the beef jerky game going?
You know what? It's going great. We're hitting the spring and summer season, and we're busy. People are wanting to get outside, go camping, do different things, and there's nothing better than getting some jerky and pepperoni and sausage when you're out and about.
It is the A1 road trip snack. I've been hyping up my AMA Travel summer road trip for a while here, and I'm heading down to Seattle to watch the Jays, so I will be loading up on Wilhock Beef Jerky for the drive.
make sure you come see me. I'll look after you.
If people want to check it out, where can they pick it up? Because I know there's the spot in West Ed, but there's other ways to get it as well.
Yeah, we have 3 locations. We have the original location in Leduc, and then we have our second store in Spruce Grove. And then last spring, we opened a kiosk at West Edmonton Mall.
You are also a diehard Oilers fan. You are a well-traveled Oilers fan as well. Whenever we do our nation vacations throughout the season, it is almost a lock that you are going to run into Trent Wilhock either at the airport or at the game as well.
Yeah, you know what? There's nothing more fun than traveling with the Oilers and going to all the games and experiencing all the different atmospheres, and it's we're fortunate that we get to do that, and it's a lot of fun, and you meet a lot of great people along the way.
Oilers up 3-2 as this podcast is being recorded. What have you made of the first 5 games here? I felt like game 5, and we talked about this a little bit earlier on the pod. Game 5 felt like more than just winning the third game. It felt like establishing that you can roll this LA team if you really want to.
Well, I think clearly after the first 5 games, it's shown that the Oilers are the better team.
Yeah.
But we could sit here and argue for 2 games. The Oilers absolutely shot themselves in the foot. This series actually probably should have been over, if not a sweep, in 5 games.
Yeah.
But the Oilers, they were in control. Then they take dumb penalties. And yes, you could sit there and bitch all you want about the refereeing and the officials and everything else. But really, when you look at all the calls, where was a bad call? And other than maybe you could argue the Desharnais penalty in overtime, but as far as I'm concerned, they were all legitimate penalties. Yeah. So once the Oilers clean that up, they've been dominant now. And I fully expect that we're going to see the same thing Saturday night. And I will be absolutely shocked if this series goes 7.
I will too. Like, you even think back to last year at this point in the series, they were trailing 3-2. Like, the pressure was absolutely on. And now it'll be interesting to see kind of how the Kings adapt to the pressure being put on them a little bit, because you mentioned they shot themselves in the foot. Like, blowing that lead in game 1 was not LA roaring back with some magnificent comeback. It was the Oilers taking a bunch of dumb penalties, not being clean enough in their D zone. You compare that to game 5 where the Oilers get a lead, and yeah, LA scored those 2 goals in the first, but in the back half of that game, LA didn't change from their 1-3-1. They kept throwing the exact same things at the Oilers. Edmonton, for the most part, stayed out of the box. And look at that. You go and you win the hockey game. So I just don't think LA has the adjustments in them to keep up with Edmonton right now.
Well, I totally agree. I think what showed after 5 games is LA's actually tired.
Yeah.
Because what boggles my mind is you're playing a 1-3-1 down by 3 goals. I've never seen a team protect a friggin' 3-goal lead or 3-goal loss.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. And really, the Oilers are the better team. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're actually tougher. It's just stop shooting yourselves in the foot and you're going to have success. And the Oilers have discovered that, and they're up 3-2 in the series. And I firmly believe this is ending tomorrow night.
You're a guy who loves old school hockey, so I know you have probably had a smile when Jay Woodcroft threw out Darnell Nurse, Vinny Desharnais, Evander Kane. Those 5 guys had not been on the ice together once together this year. And Woody throws those 5, and the Kings kind of just cowered. It was like, oh, we're going to stop running around.
It was friggin' awesome. We were watching that, and I'm like, I said to my buddy Curtis, I go, holy shit, look at this. They put the 5 guys out, and we were like looking and we were talking. We're like, yeah, LA was running around a little bit, looking, arguably trying to get a little stupid. And as soon as those 5 guys stepped on the ice, and you could see Costin talking to a couple
he was
guys
buzzing around too.
And he, they just set the tone as, hey, if you guys want to get stupid, no problem. We're beating you on the scoreboard, and now we'll thump you in the alley.
That's the value of having a guy like Klim Kostin. I know the scoring kind of comes and goes, and he's a guy, like, he took a dumb penalty in this series as well. Like, he's had his share of tough moments, but when that guy hops over, you can immediately tell the other team's like, shit, yeah, we're done. We're done playing games. We're good, Klim. We asked this question. It was our giant debate off the top today. Pick your unsung hero for game 5 before we let you go.
Oh boy, unsung hero. You know what? I really like the game Derek Ryan's playing.
We joke that Nick Bukestad is just long Derek Ryan because they're very similar, but Derek Ryan's sneaky effective. Like, he helps out on the PK. You can trust him at 5-on-5 on the wing, down the middle. He's good everywhere. And he kind of has a knack for finding the back of the net at a big moment.
Well, Derek Ryan is a smart hockey player. Yeah. And to be honest with you, he's a complete hockey player. When he's on the ice, you're never in trouble. Are you going to get a lot of offensive production from Derek Ryan? No. But you're never in trouble when Derek Ryan's on the ice. And there's a reason in certain situations that Woodcroft likes to throw him out with Connor Leon. And, Derek Ryan's if I had to pick an unsung hero, that's the guy I'm going with.
Tomorrow night when we're partying at Greta for Game 6, we will be giving away some Wilhock Jerky GCs. So if you're coming down to the watch party, look forward to that as well. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Trent.
Yeah, beauty. Thanks, Trent. All right, let's keep rolling. Instead of talking Oilers, let's just shuffle for a bit to the rest of the NHL.
Is there a rest of an NHL?
How much playoff hockey have you guys been watching? Liam, I know what your answer is going to be, Liam, but I've been dialed in.
What do you think my answer is?
Your answer is you watch more hockey this time of year than any time of year.
That is true. That is very true.
I would say I haven't watched full games, but I've been watching pieces of a lot of games.
Yeah, I usually don't watch anyone throughout the regular season, but now I found myself on my couch quite often. I'm very intrigued by the Colorado Seattle series. Everyone just seems to be like, I made a tweet the other day saying, "Oh, I think we underestimated Seattle." Everyone said, "Oh, well, maybe we just overestimated Colorado." It's like, no, that is not the case at all. And if you think
Colorado,
that, you are lying.
Colorado, though.
No, not right now. They don't. But I think throughout the regular season, there was no reason to come into the series thinking they were going to be down 3-2 going into Game 6, right? Like,
for sure.
Even without Cale Makar for one game, obviously the Nichushkin stuff and Landeskog has missed the whole playoffs, but they still got a lot of players. And I mean, on the Seattle side of things, like Philip Grubauer is being the Philip Grubauer they paid all that money to be. And
he's looking like Colorado Grubauer.
Yeah, revenge series, as Bag Milk said on Every Day Today. So yeah, it's been a very fun series, and obviously the Leafs and Lightning has been awesome, to say the least. Just like every single game is amazing.
Also, if anyone ever tries to do the McKinnon-McDavid thing again, I will not stand for it.
No.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like people always like to draw the comparisons between those two. And if McKinnon had a Draisaitl, blah, blah, blah. One, McKinnon has a Rantanen, which is very good.
I just can't wait for Connor Bedard comparisons. Connor to Connor comparisons.
But that play on the winning goal by Seattle, McKinnon goes skate on skate with a Kraken defender. Borderline trip. Like, they could have called it, but they didn't.
You don't think it was incidental?
I think it was. I do, but I could see why they may have called it. McKinnon gets up, slams his stick on the boards, is barking at the ref,
Not
having
back checking at all.
Full on meltdown. And who scores? F3 coming into the slot. Who should be covering F3? The centerman.
Nathan McKinnon has always been that guy though since junior.
And where did he play junior?
Halifax.
There you go.
Go Mooseheads.
But he's always been known as like the crybaby, which I was surprised that it didn't carry over because of the Sid crybaby stuff. But anyways, I agree with you, but I mean, we've been saying that since Matthews and Eichel. I mean, we've done now Eichel, Matthews, McKinnon, and Draisaitl to some extent.
They tried to get they tried to get Johnny Gaudreau in there for
Kucherov was in there for a minute
a little bit too.
Yeah. Canucks fans at one point said Pettersson was better.
There was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one?
Oh yeah, someone wrote that article. Pettersson's the best center in the Pacific Division.
Oh my goodness.
He might be like the 5th best center.
It's a disservice to all those players that we've named because it's not fair to them to try and compare them to the best player in the world.
It's like comparing my beautiful Alfa Romeo to the 1991 Chrysler Dynasty I drove when I was 16 years old.
Or any both fine machines.
They're both fine cars, but one is just a cut above the other, you know?
Let's just do all your vehicles. Let's go. Just
all right. Well, I went from the 91 Dynasty to a 2002 Civic.
I'd still take the Alfa Romeo over the Civic.
Yep. So then from there, the Civic got smashed into RIP to the homie. And then to a 2010 Ford Escape.
I think I'd take the Alfa Romeo still.
Which I still have the Escape.
Is the wiper on that still on fire? Or?
No, I changed that. Okay. We fixed that up.
Just checking.
Fix that
Liam, what was your vehicle lineage?
I went from a 2002 Ford Focus, which almost turned into a Flintstones car because it got so rusty.
Nice.
Now I have a 2007 Mazda 6, but it also might be a 2010. Well, it's a mystery within itself. I also had the Crewmobile for a while.
Yeah.
And then the Crewmobile left. So I'm back to my Mazda 6.
Dan?
Elantra, Palisade. I haven't had that many cars in my life.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oof. Start off with a 91 Tempo.
Nice.
Move into like a 96 Taurus. Had a, what was it? A Nissan. No, what was before Nissan? It was a
Datsun?
Yeah, it was a Datsun 200 SX.
I can't believe I remember.
That went into another Taurus. That went into a 91 Ford Explorer. that went into like a 97 or a 98 Explorer.
He rode a Velociraptor.
Rick, we're running out of time on the show. Wrap it up.
Turned into, I think, the 2010 Jeep, 2014 Jeep, 2016 Jeep.
All right, Tyler, finish us off.
Mine will be much quicker. An 03 Dodge pickup, a 2010 Jeep Compass, a 2017 Jeep Cherokee, and then the Nation truck.
I know they're, you know what? I'm still waiting from our friends at Sherwood for my 1987 Ford Escort GT.
I don't know.
And the matching Broncos we were all supposed to get, but Jay just got one.
Yeah, Jay just got one. And Chalmers, if you're listening, you're not. There's no decals on that Bronco.
Well, you'd have to put an Instagram post up at 7 a.m. for Chalmers.
Yeah, that is true.
That's a good real life joke. If you're listening to this right now and you were like, I'm almost done the podcast, I need more Oilers related content. Game day, 12 o'clock, live on the YouTube, Oilers Nation every day. It's a Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. So tune in to that. BM?
Yes.
Do we have any Ask the Idiots questions?
Yes.
What's that? Who's Ask the Idiots brought to you by? AMA Travel, our friends at amatravel.ca. It is. Shout out to AMA Travel. I want to keep traveling these playoffs.
Yeah,
so
you
let's
have the cheat
giddy
sheet.
up
You're
with
hosting.
AMA.
You got to keep
right.
it organic. Sorry. On the ads.
Yep.
Not very good. At
You have to say it's
reviews.
organic for it to be
I'm
organic.
starting with Liam with this one because I know he's superstitious.
Incredibly. You're lucky I'm coming on Saturday.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions? If not, what is your favorite ritual that you know maybe about someone else?
Yeah. So obviously, I wouldn't say the banana's a part of my ritual or superstitions or anything. I just get stressed out very easily. So I eat them. But my ritual this time around is I watch the game at my parents' house. My girlfriend's been studying for exams, but I told her she has to come and she studies in the living room with my family because I forced her to come. So I do that. I always wear my Jesse Puljujarvi jersey and I have to watch my parents. And this Saturday I'm watching at Greta. So we'll see how that goes.
What kind of celebration do you do for each goal?
It kind of depends on the mojo. The overtime winner for Zach Hyman, me and my dad hugged. But typically me and my dad go around the room and double high five everybody. Well, my mum broke her wrist last year, so it's like fragile still. So we just like softly high five my mum. It's very funny.
Did you break your mom's wrist while high-fiving?
No, she slipped on ice walking my dog.
Yeah, good one, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Well, sorry. Thought there was a fun story there.
No,
Now it's gingerly done.
but I think
That's most of my jokes.
I'm good. I already told my Game 7 story on here of my superstitions. So
Dan, you got any superstitions?
I used to when I was younger. I've kind of grown out of them. I usually just do a run on the day of a game, but other than that, nothing too crazy from me.
Is there anybody you know that has a superstition you like?
Liam apparently
Regurgitates his whole answer.
this guy, I know, doesn't high five his mum very
Yeah, he couldn't high five her. He high fived her so hard he broke her wrist last year. But no, I'm trying to think. I used to pray before every game. That was a thing back in the 90s. I remember having some pretty deep conversations with the person upstairs about the Oilers and beating the Dallas Stars, that kind of thing. So no, I don't have anybody to out on the show.
Rick, any superstitions for you?
You know what? I think it's just overall, I have to be in the zone. I have to be, when it comes to the TV, there can't be, you can try and distract me. You're not really going to distract me. I need a little bit of space. And everybody around me has to understand who I am because anything happens, it could, I don't know what kind of reactions coming out, but I do have a pair of socks and maybe a pair of shoes, jerseys that come out. Depends on the previous game. I do, if I go to the game, whether it's on the road or at home, my jersey has to match their jersey and colors.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I've noticed that actually.
Yeah.
We've been roommates a bunch.
We go on the road, it's the white. At home, it's the blue.
Does he
the
have
orange,
to-
I'll still wear the orange. It's a little bit of last year's playoffs, and it's a Connor. So
Does it have to be the color or the jersey? Does it
no, the color.
so it could
Just
be like an old away jersey?
Yeah, so like the first game of the playoffs here, and if it's on me, it's on me. That's fine. But I wore my Royal Blue Holloway jersey. I know he was not playing. I don't even think he's up at the time. But
You're
that
a
was
monster.
really I have a Holloway Royal Blue. I have a Holloway. I have a Brandon Davidson. I have an Andrew Ferentz. And I think that might be it for Royal Blues.
All the boys.
So it had to come down to that one there.
Murder's Row.
But yeah, it's a lot of people enjoy watching me watch the playoffs.
I don't have a superstition, but when the Oilers were down 3-0, my girlfriend, who was watching with some friends, took off her jersey and put it on her legs like a blanket, and she claims that is why they came back. So that's her new superstition.
Did she do that last game?
They weren't losing, so that said she didn't have to.
Only does it at the
it's break glass in case of emergency for her. So at Greta tomorrow, if the Oilers start losing, jersey
not
off.
happening.
Yep.
I don't have superstitions at all about the Oilers. I need a beer in my hand pregame. I don't blame myself.
No, there has to be some alcohol intake for sure.
Yeah, like I got one speed and it's fucking pedal to the floor during the playoffs, and my body probably wishes I didn't do that. But
I usually
Body
don't
doesn't
drink
get a
unless I'm
say in
there.
this.
I only drink if I'm at the arena.
No, yeah, you don't
Yeah,
drink at
I
all.
think I will this Saturday, but typically, I just don't drink during the games.
I'll have, like, if I'm at home and I'm watching it, I'm so dialed in, I would probably have a drink and forget to drink it.
Yeah.
But like tomorrow at Greta, I'm in party mode tomorrow.
It's different because someone's like, hey, you need another one?
Yeah, you want
Hey,
one?
yeah, I'll take another one. Yeah. But then there's like the commercials. All of a sudden it's like you got to relax a bit, crush some, talk about what happened, and then calm everyone down because the game's back on. Hey, game back on. Stop it. Don't talk to me.
If I'm at a game, there's no way I'm not drinking,
Oh yeah,
especially in the playoffs.
Well, it's Mr. Loge here. They just come serve you all the damn time. You're not even done. You're like, I have another. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Is that your
So-
new name? Mr. Loge?
I was the first time I ever got to sit in the Sportsnet lounge was in game 2 or game 5, I should say, on Tuesday. And it was very funny. They came up and they're like, do you want a drink? I'm like, yeah, I would. So they grabbed me a drink. And then she's like, do you want to start a tab today? I'm like, no. I've learned my lesson.
what's it like in the Sportsnet lounge?
It's cool. There's free food in there, which is the main draw. But
What's the seating
the
situation?
seats are cool because you got a little table beside you, which is nice. You got more space between you and the people in front of you, which is nice. It's like Loge, but higher.
Angles are good.
Right.
Angles were good. I was right on dead, like at the end. Obviously, if you're going to pick your spot, you want to be in the middle a little bit, but I just wanted to be in the building. I don't care.
I'll sit at the end. That's
For me in the playoffs, I don't care where I'm sitting. My seats for game 1, me and sales guy Jared, our seats were not good, but I just wanted to be there. And that's really all I think about when I go to the playoff games. Question number 2, we're reversing the order. Do you think the Oilers have said or should have said something to the NHL about the Kings diving throughout the series?
No, like what are you gonna do, right? Like send a memo to league?
Maybe just a thumb drive, you pack it with a couple of clips and fire it on over.
Nah, yeah, there's no need. No, my answer is just no. That's not something that happens.
I'll jump in next. I think Woody says what he has to say in his post games. He's always got a funny way of putting things. Like, we scored on our one power play chance of the game, and you'll repeat it over and over again.
Can you guarantee that Holland didn't do something?
No, I have no idea.
So yeah, so 1, you never know, and 2, I think the biggest help was Bieksa.
Why would happen with BXA?
Bieksa brought it up on TV.
Dan?
I don't think that they do it mid-series, but I bet you that they did some kind of a highlight reel of last year's series.
The officiating has been so bad in the playoffs, or has been so bad times, that I think every company out there that thinks they're a little bit of a hockey follower, blog or whatever is posting it, that the NHL, you literally have to have your head in sand in order to avoid it all.
Yeah.
Well, game start on time.
I would be
Well, that's never going to fucking change, but
gamesmanship wise for me, I would do it ahead of the series. I would have sent them footage from last year and shown the league, these are the Kings.
Liam, what do you
Just a
think?
reminder.
Do you think the Oilers did or should they?
Was it about the embellishment or just in general?
About the diving specifically.
See, for me, I've kind of thought about that too. I feel like that's something the refs should almost discuss amongst themselves a little bit, of being like, hey, the last group guy told me on that team that they were diving everywhere and they embarrassed us a little bit. So it feels like that hasn't happened either. So no, I don't think the others have done that, but I bet they've sent some stuff into the league.
I'm going to start right in the middle with Rick. What makes the Oilers power play so good right now? We all know they're amazing on the power play in the regular season, but so far they've really cranked it up in this series.
you know what? I'm not so sure if there's anything you point out that makes them twice as lethal right now. They're almost twice as lethal, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty damn close. Maybe it's less opportunities on the power play, that when they do get it, that they hammer it down.
I think
Is there anything you see out there? Like they move the puck differently. Things are getting through. They have less chances and they're capitalizing on the same, it's weird.
I think it's almost similar to the regular season. It's the unpredictability. You can sit there and game plan for them, but then Draisaitl moves to the middle of the ice instead of his office. McDavid's on his off wing, not his strong side. And Evan Bouchard's going to start ripping the puck instead of passing it. Like,
or it doesn't rip it. He's taking a step to the right and it's a wrist shot.
So like they have so many different ways to hurt you that you can't game plan for them. And in situations like this, they're just getting theirs right now.
Dan?
I think there's a certain amount of lore that's built up around this power play too. And so I think that's just an element that's just playing into it, that the Kings are sweating when they take a penalty and they're gripping those sticks a little bit harder because they know that power play is that good.
Liam?
I think it's Evan Bouchard. I think there's just an extra weapon on there that now that he's just elevated his game so much that I think the power play has now been able to take another level, and the Kings are just like, well, who are we committing to? We committing to McDavid, who has 60 whatever goals, Draisaitl, who had 50, or Evan Bouchard, who could beat us on almost any shot he tries. So
what about do you think they do have something and they're going after their goalie in a certain spot?
I think that's probably the case too, and they've mastered that, and maybe that's it, right? You play the same team over and over again, you kind of get a rhythm against them, but I just think Evan Bouchard's game overall has elevated this team, that I think that's the main piece on the power play too.
For me, I think that it's the Oilers have got multiple pitches working really well for them right now in the power play. For a long, like there were times where I'm talking about a handful of years ago now, where it was always, the play was always to try and force it cross crease, Leon in the office in the back of the net. And damn it, that's a hell of a pitch. But in this series, they're looking for it if it's there, but they don't lean on it like they have in the past. It can go up to Bush and he rips one. Connor maybe flips around to the other side, like Tyler said. He scored 2 goals in game 3 like that.
Connor and Nuge shooting from their left side.
Mm-hmm.
You start coming in, you're looking for that Messier shot off the 1 foot. You cover that too much, then he fires across to Leon.
So I think they've just got multiple pitches and they're working for them right now. And LA is having a real hard time with it. Last question for Ask the Idiots. This is just a weird one, but I like it anyway. Look at your co-host to your immediate left. So Liam would be looking at Dan at Rick at Tyler at me at Liam. What is it like watching hockey with that person? Liam, I'm starting with you.
With Dan, I don't know if we've ever watched a hockey game together, Dan. I would imagine Dan would be the calming presence of the group, but also the man at the parties who would pick up the mic and try and get everyone going again and be optimistic about the whole event.
Yeah, that's
pretty accurate.
That's kind of what I try to aspire to be.
There you go.
Dan, what is it like to watch a game with Rick?
Rick is heart racing pace. He's intense as all fuck. If you don't know him, it's like fearful to approach. But if you do know him, he can snap out of it and then come right back in. It's fine. He's just in his Lake Rick. So yeah, I would just say if you don't know intensity of playoffs, stand next to Rick.
I've gone to a bunch of games with Rick. I've watched a ton of games with him. He's just fucking fun.
Yeah.
I love you walk in the building with him and he's going from the time he walks in to the time we leave. And man, I have a good time. Rick, what's it like to watch with Tyler?
Tyler's actually like a lighter version of myself. He won't get exactly as loud as I am, but he's just as intense. He ain't afraid of the booze. There's the emotions right there on the sleeve. It's fun. It makes me feel good knowing that there's someone between myself and the average regular person.
Good way to put it.
Tyler, what's it like watching a game with me?
Love-filled. You love giving out hugs and high fives. And also, if you watch a game with bagged milk, you will notice like 10 things happening, not on the ice, in the arena, that you otherwise would not have noticed happening at some point. Like the friends you made in game 4 in LA.
Yes. Yeah. I do like making friends when I'm hammered.
And if you go to a game with bagged milk, you're probably only going to see a little bit of the game with bagged milk because he'll be gone at some point.
Or he tends to go on little journeys.
Most notably, if the Oilers are losing, I'll just get up and leave.
You make your own entertainment.
I don't know if you were losing in that Calgary series where in the alumni area and the
I was going to get a shredded beef sandwich.
Using those Australian words and stuff.
He was hungry.
A shredded beef sandwich.
Yeah, the old alumni lounge. That's
Poor
my favorite
Joanne.
place to
Was
go.
it Joe with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Joe.
I've only watched a couple with Liam now that I'm thinking about it. Vegas, I'm thinking about.
Oh yeah, the San Jose game.
And
I was very drunk that day.
yeah, I like your points on the game. I like the way you the jokes you make. I like when you're drinking because then you've got funny shit to say. Yeah, you had about that 20 ounce beer on you in that San Jose game we were watching. So Liam's fun.
Yeah.
He's always fun though.
Well, that was a nice little pick me up for all of us, I think.
Yeah. Your little confidence boost ahead of game 6.
Now I'll say one thing you dislike about each other's neutralizer.
Yeah, really knock everyone down a peg here. And a big chunk of us will be watching the game together tomorrow night down at Greta, where if you want to pick up some Nation gear, we will have some being sold at the event. Maybe you want the new playoff tee. Maybe you want what Rick's rocking, the Year of Nuge tee.
I just got mine today. I'm excited about it.
Spicy. We will have some being sold at the playoff party. Quickly before we get to hot and cold performers, tomorrow, Betway. What do we like in terms of a betting angle? I am going to go with a Connor McDavid goal played together with the Edmonton Oilers victory. It might not be juicy, but damn it feels like a lock.
Over 5.5 goals, Oilers to win. That has been a tasty little bet all series long.
Without even seeing them, you guys are throwing down, eh?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with a little mixture here of an Oilers win money line over 5.5, mixed in with a Draisaitl 1.5 points, maybe 2.5 actually. Ooh.
Stick with the dry 1.5, but the Bush shot prop and the Bush
power
points
play
prop.
point is electric on the Bush too.
Yeah.
Check that one out if you're looking for something.
I also, on game 5, I was sitting there in my seat and I'm seeing the boys warming up and they got a little bounce and the hip hop's blasting. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. Fucking hammered the puck line on Tuesday. We'll see how I feel tomorrow pregame.
I might be.
Tomorrow could be a puck line day.
It could be
I think a puck line. Puck line Saturday they call it actually.
All right, BM, get your buttons ready. Let's wrap this bad boy up with a little bit of hot and cold performers. Let's also give a little bit more love to Trent Wilhock. WilhockBeefJerky.com if you want to try the best beef jerky out there. Hot and cold performers. We will start with our veggies, and I'll start with the man next to me, Rick. Who's your cold performer?
Okay, so I know I harp on this, but this is more like the NHL needs to figure this out because there's just been too many hits from behind without any repercussions behind it.
Totally.
I think both Oiler ones should have been 5. I think the one last night, the one last night I don't think it was as bad, but there's the one against Barzell. It's just I don't know. Like the hits from behind, they need to really eliminate these from the game. I really hope they don't wait till someone's seriously injured in order to do it. Kind of like they did with the chicken wings to the jaw and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the league needs to figure out how to get these hits out of the game.
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Dan?
My cold performer of the week is just going to go to Korpisalo, who continues to be as bad as we thought he would be, and he's going to continue that right into the weekend. This is not bad juju. Korpisalo, you're my cold performer.
What the hell is going on?
My cold performer of the week goes to the writers of Game of Thrones. I finished it this week. And season 8, you were a joke, an absolute disaster to the entire cast and to the fan base.
The same night of an Oiler game.
I finished it on.
You tweeted it out. I thought you tweeted it
No,
out.
I think I finished it on Wednesday.
What is it?
I can't remember. I watched it in 2 seconds. So, yeah, you're a mess and don't write anything ever again. Whatever your name's.
2 years.
No, George R. R. Martin is the writer of the book.
But he stopped writing after like season 7. Season 8 was purchased by a different company and they came out right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
Disaster.
You know what? I wish the Oilers would have played last night. I don't like this 3-day break. I get it. Crypto.com arena is a mess to schedule. I get it. But I don't like this 3-day break. I would have loved the Oilers to get back at it last night. They're rolling. So this 3-day break, no bueno.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
I know they have to make money, but there used to be a day when they would just put you in a smaller arena if they couldn't book the main arena. They
KC Twin Arenas for game 6.
open the forum. I'm just saying it. Let's open the forum up. Let's see what they got.
My cold performer is the singular bite of cat food I had. That is all.
Oh, my goodness.
Honorary hot performer for me.
Oh, that's cold.
Hot performer of the week. Flip it around. BM, what do you got?
Let me think here. Oh, You know what, boys? Pull out your phones here, bro. Do it for me real quick. And if you're listening to this too, I want you to pull out your phones and Google the uniquely shaped iceberg that's floating near Newfoundland today. It is my hot performer of the week. Boys, let me know when you see it.
He's a hot guy.
Iceberg, Newfoundland.
Mm-hmm.
Loading.
I'm not supposed to look like
Oh,
a penis.
no.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that looks like a penis.
Wow.
He's a hot guy.
Look how proud he looks. Just
He's a hot guy.
And it's
like
cold.
the cat that just brought you a mouse.
It's cold out there.
BM, yeah, it's cold out there. BM or Liam, what do you got?
Sorry, a bit distracted. My hot performer of the week goes to the people of Oilers Nation Everyday chat who all wished me happy birthday this week. That was very nice on Monday when I hosted the show. Very supportive group.
Good news.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Good news. We found out if you do want to wish Liam a happy birthday, the month continues for another, 28 days?
Until May 24th. Yeah. I go backwards on my birthday month, not in anticipation to it like Christmas.
My cold performer of the week is my hot performer of the week is the fact I was able to step into Ford Hall for the first time since the playoffs have begun. And I noticed before the game started that the Ford Hall bounce is back.
Oh, it's
so the if you'd like to check out the trampoline that is Ford Hall, it's starting early and it's every game day. So we're back, baby. It's playoffs time.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Again, I'm not sure that the engineers had that in mind, but maybe.
It's a feature, not a flaw.
You thought the wave was going to take a temporary break. Well, in fact, it just continues
I
every
think we should do
day.
the wave Onyx. I think it has its own flow to it.
It's an automatic wave.
It is funny how that was the viewing party area. Now all of a sudden it's, we have the moss pit now. Please stay on solid ground. What's yours, game?
Rick, what do you got?
You just have to give it to everybody wearing the Oiler colors right now. They came back. We're down here. We've got one game to go. Finish it off tomorrow night, and we'll all head out to Vegas here in a couple days.
It's getting hot in here.
All of us together.
Oh, please.
Dare to dream.
My hot performer of the week is going to go to Mr. Zachary Hyman. Slow start to the series, but boy, did he ever turn on the Jets in games 4 and game 5. That guy is playing some good hockey right now. Needs some love.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
Scored with his fucking face.
Yeah, Smitty.
That'll hurt.
The Jets got turned off last night by the Vegas Golden Knights.
They were bad last night. They were just straight up bad.
That was embarrassing.
They're not a good team.
That was a
That's the
bad
thing.
effort, as Rick Norris pointed out.
They're kind of like broken from within, like the Flames were a couple years ago.
And currently.
All
It's
right.
a different version right now, but yeah.
That is a wrap on this week's edition, or this Friday's edition of Oilers Nation Radio. We also got to give some love to Greta, which is going to be hosting our playoff party tomorrow, and we'll be selling Nation gear as well. AMA Travel and AMAtravel.ca. Betway 19 plus. Play responsibly. Oodle Noodle, which is stocked up with Oilers Nation stickers, and the fantastic new Fanalytics-inspired playoff menu at Boston Pizza. Enjoy Game 6, everybody, and we will talk to you again on Tuesday.
Major key alert.